Well, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy back for another video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got some news for you. Hot off the press, if you will. Well, that happened a few days ago because of the sentencing, but nonetheless, here's news. It says a Colorado man given 57-year sentence for shooting two women after being told he was not the father of a child. I found this on Instagram just now, but I'm bringing it to you. If you haven't seen the story earlier. Well, let's check it out. Let's check it out, man. It says a Colorado man who shot his estranged wife and her cousin hours after being informed he was not the biological father of one of their children was ordered last week to serve almost 6 decades in prison. Kaylin Lewis, that's him, 34 years old, received a 42-year sentence in Adams County Court on Friday for second-degree murder, a 10-year sentence for second-degree attempted murder, and an additional 5 years for tampering with evidence, which equals up to 57 years collectively. A jury found him guilty of those counts and others in February. Now, here he is. They say he's 34 years old. He look way older than 34 years old, man. Stop playing. We gonna get to why. Anyway, Lewis was arrested by police 36 hours after he broke into his estranged wife Aurora's apartment on February 9th and shot both women, according to details in his arrest affidavit. DeAndre McCain, his estranged wife, and her cousin, Retrice Little, were braiding one another's hair at the time. So you can tell which neighborhood they lived in. Probably not the best neighborhood, but who knows? Lewis had moved out of the apartment 3 months earlier, according to the report. He and McCain were the parents of a young child. This worse. This story's going to have twists and turns. Anyway, he and her were parents of a young child and had recently divorced, although the marriage was determined to not be legally binding during those divorce proceedings. Interesting. According to a press release from the 17th Judicial District Attorney's Office, McCain had texted Lewis earlier that day to tell him he was not the father of McCain's youngest child. Now keep this in mind. He took care of this. He took care of the child that she said wasn't his the whole time. So you mean to tell me that all this whole time he was married and in the process of divorce, I guess, that he was taking care of another man's kid? Can't get any more disgusting than that, man. And I guess that's what, well, we gonna read through this, man. Later that day, Lewis forced his way into the apartment to confront McCain. Lewis, him, per the DA's office and the arrest affidavit, said to McCain, "You think this was a game?" and fired once at McCain's head. McCain told investigators. McCain then stated she dropped to the floor and pretended to be dead. She dropped to the floor and pretended to be dead. From that position, she saw Little move in front of Lewis. McCain then told investigators she heard 4 or 5 gunshots and Little fell to the floor next to her, suffering obvious wounds to her face and bleeding badly. Lewis then left the apartment and McCain called 911. Per the affidavit, Lewis had believed the child was his and he had cared for the child since birth. All 4 of McCain's children, ages 9, 5, 4, and 3, were inside the apartment at the time of the shooting. At the end of Lewis's trial, the jury also convicted him 4 counts of misdemeanor child abuse. I guess they were emotionally scarred by seeing their mother laid to the ground or something. That's why they charged him with misdemeanor. That's not all. Get this, ladies and gentlemen. Little was pronounced dead at the scene. She was also the mother of 4 other children ages 13 to 18, a family member told CBS Colorado. So she had 4 older children in addition to the children that ranges from ages from 3 to 9. So altogether, this woman had 8 children. 8 children. And he went down to his knees and proposed to this woman, and then she said, I do. They got married. Knowing that she had 8 children altogether. Or I don't know if he knew that, but all he knows they had 4 small children. I don't know if he knew that she had like 4 older children. Man, this is messy, y'all. So here she is. Here's the woman that deceived the man, that told the man that one child wasn't his, and that he snapped and ran up into her apartment and then deleted her and her cousin. Anyway, Patrice Little died while trying to protect a family member from a vicious and violent attack. District Attorney Brian Mason stated in the press release, her courage in those final moments was extraordinary, and her loss is devastating. I am grateful to the Aurora Police Department for their investigation of this case, and for my team at the District Attorney's Office for their work in securing this outcome. My thoughts are with the victim's family as they continue to heal from this tragedy. You mean the tragedy that I don't like the victim blame, but she deceived him dearly by saying the child was not his, so that caused him to snap. I'm not excusing his behavior. He could have utilized other channels to just to get over this horrible news, but then again, you can't tell anybody how to deal with the bad news, and especially being told that one child wasn't his the whole time he was raising that kid. Like I always say, you can play with somebody's feelings, but their emotions are a different animal. That's on another level. You don't play with that man like that. But unfortunately for him, he had to pay for his crime dearly. He's 34 years old, and they say he's going to serve 57 years in prison. God willing, that if he survives 57 years in prison, he'll turn 91. But the odds of that happening is slim to none. You know what I mean? Because men's lifespan doesn't last as long as women's lifespan due to wear and tear. That men have to do more than women. This is a sad story all around, man. I guess rest in peace to that lady, even though she deceived him by saying that child is not his. You know what they say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Well, they both won stupid prizes. Three lives are gone. Hers, her cousin, and his, potentially. And the children are orphans, man. I don't know if all the children are orphans, except for the children that they had together, I think. Man, it is a messy story. You can't make this up. So, yeah. Anyway, women, don't deceive men by telling them years later that the child's not theirs. He should have had all the children tested as soon as they're out of the oven of the woman. They should have did that, but since he didn't, this was the result of it. So y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think he was out of line? Do you think he deserved the sentence that he got? Or do you think the woman had it coming by deceiving them. I'm not saying she deserved to die, but should she have been surprised at the result of deceiving somebody that they supposed to love? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later.